Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to try out this viral sensation. It's a powder foundation. It is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I have tried the liquid foundation and I loved it, so I really wanted to find out if this is worth all of the hype. So if you'd like to find out more, then just keep watching. I picked this foundation up from Ulta, and here are the details. The L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in a powder provides full coverage with a natural matte finish, blurs, evens, and smooths skin, weightless, creamy texture, fuses with skin upon application, color remains true throughout the day without drying or fading, matte finish for up to 24 hours and suitable for all skin types, oily skin, and acne-prone skin. It also says that it provides full coverage, no excess, no transfer, waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof, and I think the rest it stated earlier. It says use a brush or sponge to apply all over face. Build as needed. Talc is the #1 ingredient if you are a person who is trying to avoid that. Just wanted to let you know that. So here we go. I keep saying this out loud. Put on your concealer first. I have the shade 330 Hazelnut, and I tried to really adjust my lights today so that you could really see the true colors of the foundation. So it does come with a mirror and a sponge applicator. This is the sponge that it was referring to when it said that I could use a sponge. We will try it with a sponge, and we'll also use a brush. And before I apply the foundation, let's prep the skin. I'm going to use my Bobbi BrownVitamin Enriched Face Base. This is very good for all skin types, but especially for oily skin, and I have combo oily skin. I get oily in my T-zone, and I'm sort of normal everywhere else. Next, I'm going to go in with my Tarte. It used to have a long name, but I think they've shortened the name. It's like the Timeless Smoothing Primer now, maybe. Ooh, I think I put on a little bit too much. It will be okay. That product blurs my pores and it mattifies, and again, way too much. So I like to put the Tarte in my T-zone to help me remain a little bit more matte where I tend to get oily. I like to press it in over my large pores. Concealer. I'm also trying out something new. I am one of the only YouTubers on the planet who has not tried the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I wouldn't normally apply something new, but I just gotta. And this is the shade M21. So we'll pop a little bit of that on first, because since this is a powder, I don't want to put concealer on top of it. It might be possible, but I don't want to try it. This is a little dark. It is more the color of me, but it is what I bought. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's a little too dark. You guys might look at it and say it's perfect, but I just tend to like a lighter shade. But I don't complain if I do happen to buy one that is a little too dark, because I can mix it with others, and I need some of those in my collection as well. They don't all need to be a brightening shade. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that. Let's blend this in really quickly and see how I like this. Wow. Okay, maybe the color isn't so bad. I don't know. This might be a nice everyday shade, so we'll see. Gonna go in with just a small amount more to cover those dark circles. I'm gonna set right underneath my eyes before applying the powder foundation. I don't want my under eyes to be so dark, so I'm gonna try not to take the powder foundation all the way under my eye. This is the Nikkia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder. I may try concealer on top of the foundation at some point, because I want to think I saw somebody do that, but I just think that's weird. So let's see what this looks like with the sponge here. And it does have, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is a little bit of a design on the powder. So that's a nice touch. And I should tell you how much it costs. At Ulta, it cost $14.99. The Infallible pricing is a little bit expensive for a drugstore. So let's see if it's worth it. Here we go. Ooh. Okay. I hope this isn't too dark, but we're going to see. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is pretty good. A good match, and wow as to how it felt going on. Oh my goodness. Wow, y'all. Oh my gosh. This hoop earring, okay, it's gonna drive me crazy between that and my curly hair. Okay. And I will probably take a brush and blend out like around my concealer area. Wow. And we'll just do one half with this sponge, and we'll do the other half with a brush. Oh my goodness. I know I'm covering the concealer on my nose, but oh well. It does have a slight fragrance, and so did the foundation too. The liquid foundation also had a slight fragrance. Okay, I'm gonna dust off the powder on my eyes. This is the side with the powder foundation, and this has nothing. Of course, I have on the concealer, but nothing here. Not bad. That's pretty. I think it's very pretty. I am seeing like a little patch here, and I don't know if that's from like concealer. I'm not sure what's happening there, but I'm gonna try to cover up that little patch of darkness. Let's go to the other side. I'm gonna take a Real Techniques brush. Woo! Okay, a lot. I don't know if you can see the kick up, but a lot kicked up. So you don't need a lot, guys. Wow. I'm saying wow because like you guys can't see it, but I could see like some of my veins here through in my skin, and it just immediately covered that. This is the side with the brush. And let's see, of course it does feel like just a soft matte finish. Wow. Let me take a closer look at my skin. I'm gonna zoom you guys in before I finish the look. I really like the color. It's really evened my complexion. It is practically full coverage. I have a couple of like hyperpigmentation places. This is more of my trouble area where I might break out. There's a dark spot here. You can still see it peeping through, but it has definitely concealed those areas pretty well. Once I finish my look, where I applied the concealer is gonna look a little bit better. It's pretty good. I'm sure that if you are a person who doesn't necessarily need concealer, that you could apply this all over your face and you'd be in good shape. But I need a little extra help. It does feel very, very creamy to the touch. I don't know if you can see where I've swatched it. It blends in so well with my skin. It is a really good shade match for me because I mean that blended in very well. So I really do like it. So far so good. So I'm going to complete the rest of my look, and then I'm going to come back to talk to you guys about my first impressions. All right, everyone, I'm back. So let's talk about my first impressions of this powder foundation. So again, my shade is 330 Hazelnut, and I thought that was a perfect match. I'm glad that I waited until it was back in stock so that I could pick up this shade and I didn't settle for another shade. So if you are my complexion, this is a wonderful shade match. I actually think it's pretty spot on. It's funny to me that my drugstore foundations usually match me really well, even though a lot of times it's less selection. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but a lot of times I will nail it with my drugstore selections, even though I don't have as many shades to choose from. I love the finish of this foundation. I think this is definitely perfect, probably for all skin types. If you have combo oily skin, this would be a great foundation. My first impressions of this foundation are very good, especially being a person with combination skin where I tend to lean oily in my T-zone. I think that this is looking quite lovely. It didn't take me very long to complete this makeup look, but I have to say that typically if I'm wearing a liquid foundation, I would be showing signs of oiliness by now. Just a little bit. I would be a little bit radiant at this point of my application. So this is kind of good, especially with summer months coming up where we tend to be hot and, you know, we get more oily. This will be a great option during the summer. So I'm really excited about how my makeup looks and how flawless it is. I'm very thrilled to have another alternative to liquid foundations. I really like liquid. I used to be a powder foundation girl all the time, but I do like liquid and the flexibility with liquid. But this looks really, really pretty. Even though I didn't put on very much concealer, and the concealer was a little bit darker, but I did use a translucent powder to set it, I do feel like I'm still getting that brightness in the center of my face that I like. And sometimes, like when you have on a powder foundation, you got to kind of think about that. Like, how do I apply concealer and other liquid products on top of this powder or while using a powder? So it seems like wearing a powder foundation may limit your other options of what else you can apply with it. So that's a drawback. But during the summertime, when you might be wanting to wear less product on your face, something like this might be a really great option, because I can imagine that I will definitely use this when I'm getting ready to go run errands and I don't want to put on a lot of various products. I'll probably use this all over my face, even in my concealer areas, and skip concealer and just put on a little quick 5-minute face and go. That will certainly be one way that I will use this, but I also think that it would be perfect during the day when you have a long work day. If this stays this flawless throughout the work day, then this is definitely a great option for us working gals. And it says 24-hour, just like the liquid did. So long wear, that's just exciting to me to see something like that at the drugstore. So I'm going to film another video and I'll check back in with you guys after this video just to let you guys see what it looks like at that point. Like later in the night, I'll continue to wear it. It's about 5:30 p.m. I've had this on maybe about an hour or so. I use the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury to set my face, so it's probably going to definitely last with that. I want to see how this holds up for several hours, and I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later in the evening. I just pulled my hair back off of my face just so you can see the foundation, and I'm tired. It's now 10 o'clock, and this is what the foundation looks like at this point. I have not touched up other than right here, like during the video, just a little bit. I'm going to zoom in so we can take a closer look at this foundation. So let's take a look, and I'm just going to look in my mirror here. I've had it on about 7 hours, I think. This is really good for 7-hour wear from a drugstore foundation. I definitely see this as more of a long wear. Like, it has not started separating or doing the things that foundations sometimes do when you've had it on for 7 or 8 hours. After I finished filming, I washed all my brushes, except a couple over here. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques Instapop brush and just a small amount of the Nikkia Joy powder to see if we can kind of refresh this. And I'm just gonna Make sure I don't have any excess on my face. So now, this is what we look like. That's nice. I forgot to mention earlier that I did go back and add some lashes for my second video. This is absolutely beautiful after touching up. I mean, it just totally refreshed the makeup. The worst part of my makeup look right now is just my under eyes because I need to get some sleep. But everywhere else looks really nice. So overall, guys, this is a winner. It is a little bit pricey for a drugstore product, but it is great. When I first applied this with the sponge, it felt very creamy going on. It feels like a powder, but it's a very soft and creamy powder. So I loved how it felt. I loved the full coverage that I got just from that one swipe. Kudos to them for really creating a beautiful full coverage foundation. It blended beautifully with the sponge that comes with this, but I also liked using a brush. I mean, the sponge is not that large, so I could see myself grabbing a brush to apply this, but either one works. That's a plus. And I think I forgot to say how much product you get. It has 0.31 ounces of product. I don't buy a lot of powder foundations, so I'm not sure if that's a lot of product or not, but it looks like it might last a while if you were using this every day. And I actually just think it held up very well over the course of the day. Like, it didn't break down. It played nicely with other products that were on my face. I have no complaints at all. The shade match is nice. I don't think that this foundation settled into my lines or accented any of my lines. I am a middle-aged woman, and I think that my skin looks fairly smooth, and that's always a plus. Like, I mean, I have texture on my skin. I talk about it all the time. I can't stand the texture, but I do have it. This did not make the texture stand out at all. It was fine. It's just been a joy to use this. Very, very good. So worth the hype. I definitely will reach for this again. So that's all I have for you today. The L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear powder foundation gets my stamp of approval if any of you were looking to try it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy signing out. Hey Alexa, on Amazon Music, play Life Goes On by BTS. I gotta keep it
Life
clean.
Goes On by BTS on Amazon Music.
I gotta keep it clean on my channel. What better way to stay clean than to play something you don't understand? So pretty.
아직도 멈추질 않아 저 먼 구름보다 빨리 달려가 그럼 될 줄 알았는데 나 겨우 사람인가 봐